Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Good morning. Bix Weir, roadrunner.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of chaga coffee. All right. So much going on. It was a working weekend for me. Trying to get the information I got. I am at war right now with the people who control the price of silver. And there's certain places that you can go to fight that battle. Number one for me right now is the U.S. Mint. The U.S. Mint had the most popular 1-ounce silver coin on the planet since the day it was invented in 1986. That's the U.S. 1-ounce silver eagle coin. It was codified into law such that they have to do certain things. The U.S. Mint is choosing not to do it and lying about certain parts of it. And I got it straight from the horse's mouth. You private road members, go to the private road. Part 1 is up. The U.S. Mint and the Silver Eagle conspiracy. Is the U.S. Mint breaking the law? How'd I get this person, the head of the Silver Eagle department, to talk to me? I called customer service. I say, hey, what's the problem? Let's walk through this so I can explain to people why the U.S. Mint can't make a Silver Eagle and what are the ramifications. How many millions of ounces are not being sold in silver because the U.S. Mint has decided, took it upon themselves to choose not to make the U.S. Silver Eagles. And it is a shocking conversation. Part 1's up, part 2's coming, part 3 will be in the finale. At least 10 laws are broken, and they know it. Anyway, silver price is in check. Part of the game. Control the price of silver with computers and derivatives, and you're fine. They're playing the game with the 30 or 50, 100-day, and 200-day moving averages. Here you can see they're right in the middle. The big one they want to get under is $22, and then they can cover some shorts. Now, the big 4 commercial dealers, there's actually big 3 now, according to Ted Butler, and Ted's right. Ted has been right for so long, and people who discount what Ted does don't understand silver at all. Ted uses the CFTC and the CME's own data to prove illegal market manipulation because of concentration. How else can you prove manipulation without concentration? And it's all in the data. Ted has spent, oh God, how many years? 4 decades doing this? Kind of crazy, I know. I've been a good 2 decades. 2 decades fighting this battle, and my focus right now is the U.S. Mint. The U.S. Mint is not making coins to meet demand, and they're not making them, it's not even close. As I discussed with the head of the Silver Eagle program, they know that, well, they think, and they told all their superiors that the demand for Silver Eagles is somewhere between 30 and 40 million ounces. They're making less than 20 on purpose. Can you believe that? I got it all on tape. In an interview with the customer service, I asked the customer service rep at the Mint. I go, I need to understand what's going on. And the customer service guy, a woman, didn't know what to say or do, so she forwarded it on to the boss. The boss called me back, and we had a nice long hour-and-a-half conversation. Like I said, there are great people working at the Mint, and then there are people within management who completely are on the side of destroy silver at any cost. And they've literally destroyed the best program on the planet for sovereign coins, the Silver Eagle program. Now, he did tell me when I talked to him that the U.S. Mint is going to add 4 million coins to this year's number. This year's number was going to be under 15 million, believe it or not. When, again, the current, and I think this is way lowball, the current demand, if Silver Eagles were what they used to be, $3 or $4 over spot, how many Eagles do you think they'd be selling right now? I would say over 100 million. Over 100 million. But he says, well, the way they said it, they talked to all their authorized purchasers, and they came up with a number 30 to 40 million. and told the management, and that was, it's been 3 years now, and they haven't done anything. But he did tell me that they added 4 million for this year, and he said that'll show up in the numbers. Lo and behold, on Friday, they posted it, and there it is right there. So, I have this on recorded, so it's the right guy we're talking to. So, for a long time, they were just doing 900,000 coins every month, 450 every 2 weeks. And I talked extensively about what is the capacity. He says it's well over 50 million that they can do. But they're deciding not to, which is against the law. Anyway, they've almost doubled. They're going to have, he said they're going to do just under 20 million coins this year. And this is literally, you are supposed to day-to-day create coins to meet demand. Why aren't people buying Silver Eagles right now? Because they aren't creating coins, which means the primary dealer or the authorized purchasers are being able to, they aren't going to fight. Are you kidding? They're making 10, 12 bucks a coin. For less work, they make more money. And this is 100% the fault of the U.S. Mint. The U.S. Mint knows that if they make Silver Eagles, according to the law, let's look at the law real quick, shall we? Right here. Notwithstanding any other provision of the law, the secretary shall, not may, shall means you have to do it, mint and issue in qualities and quantities that the secretary determines are sufficient to meet public demand. Now, he had claimed, the guy I was talking to, the head of the program, claimed, well, the secretary gets to decide what's appropriate. I said, that is not what the law says. The secretary determines what physical demand is, what the demand for Silver Eagle is. You told me and you told your bosses that the demand for this year and last year was over 30 million, probably between 30 and 40 million ounces. That, he's like, well, I'm not sure that got up to Janet Yellen. Yes, it did get to Janet Yellen. That's her only job when it comes to the U.S. Mint, is to deciding whether or not we are meeting public demand. And clearly, we're at less than half of public demand. So they are currently breaking the law. We all know this, right? But we have a confession. And it wasn't the employees. I've been screaming. It's not the employees. It's people above the employees. The Mint leadership, run by Ventures Gibson, number one. She is the point person. But there are people below her making the decision. All she is an HR consultant. That's all she is. That's all she's ever been. She's great at HR. So who are the people below Ventures Gibson? Guys like David Croft, the associate manufacturing director. See, I don't know which one of these people are making the decision to either not tell Janet Yellen. And if they didn't tell Janet Yellen, that means Janet Yellen never told the Mint to make coins less than meets demand, that they're in violation of the law. The U.S. Mint is in violation of the law. Unless Janet Yellen says, yes, and I did a Freedom of Information Act to the U.S. Treasury and to the U.S. Mint, asking for all the documentation about the decision made to not make coins to meet demand. And I got back. Both of my FOIAs got back, and they said there's no information on that topic. That means, according to the FOIA, come on now, that means they didn't talk about it. If they didn't talk about it, the U.S. Mint is obligated to make coins to meet demand. Part 2 is about the allocation and the blanks. Do you know that the U.S. Mint made in 2021 and 2022 about 30 million Silver Eagles? Because they're saying the blank problem now is, it's just the Sunshine Mint that we get them from. Well, who'd you get them from in 2021 and 22? Because you did 30 million, and now all you can do is 15 for the last 2 years? No, that doesn't fly. As a matter of fact, it was admitted that, no, that wasn't the case. The case was there was a decision made by management not to make coins. As a matter of fact, he said, They came to him and asked him, what can we get away with? Talk about a shocking admission. What can we get away with so that people won't be alarmed? Anyway, the old mint director, David Ryder, he's the guy who changed the back of the coin and did all that work. He was on fire. He was making 4 or 5 million coins a month. And now Ventures Gibson comes in and can only do, whatever it is, 900,000. Now they've bumped it up to 1.5. It is not enough. It is not good enough. One, just because you break a law and all of a sudden you start moving towards making coins to meet demand. I don't think 1.5 million is even close, but just because you do that doesn't mean you get away with your crimes. We need to go into the mint. We need to take out management instantly. We need to allow the American people to buy Silver Eagles at a reasonable price. As a matter of fact, that is codified into the law. The sale price of the Silver Eagles is right here. The Secretary shall sell the coins minted under this subsection to the public at a price equal to. Now, this is by law. This is what they have to sell Silver Eagles for. The market value of the bullion at the time, that's the COMEX value. That's where they get the metal. Plus the cost of minting, marketing, and distributing coins, including labor, materials, dyes, use of machinery, and promotional and overhead expenses. All the expenses are baked in, and that's it. There is no margin, zero margin allowed in the Silver Eagle bullion program. Zero margin. Do you know the U.S. Mint made $81 million of net profit on their silver bullion, or silver and gold bullion program in 2022? Completely illegal. And my guy even said, another admission. Yes, they marked it up during COVID and the markdowns never happened. And think about 3% markup for gold. Well, when gold's $400, yeah, that's kind of reasonable. Although it should be based on the cost, not a percentage. But the price of gold went up to $2,000 and it's still 3%. They're making money hand over fist. The U.S. Mint is defying the law to make money. Is she trying to save her cushy job? Is Ventures Gibson trying to save her cushy job? Look how much money we're giving back to the people. Why don't you just say, look how much money we're raping from the United States Eagle customers. This is pure fraud, pure criminality. I'm going to post part 2 of my discussion later today on the private road. At some point, I will release this to the public. And so if you can't afford a private road membership, it'll come out in a week or 2 when I get everything done. Because this is so important. Imagine people going in to buy, the big money comes in to buy physical Silver Eagles, and they can't get them. What do they buy? They buy the gold Eagles. So all that demand for silver doesn't go into a different silver product. It goes into gold. So literally, I believe it's 30 to 50 million ounces that are being sucked out annually by this illegal maneuvers at the mint. Yes, I do think the mint right now today, I mean, we know of huge multi-million dollar, even billion-dollar buyers of the U.S. Mint coinage, Silver Eagles, that can't get it, so they're buying gold Eagles. Because they believe that at some point in the future, when the system crashes, those Silver Eagles will be the money of the United States, because they are printed by, literally, the U.S. Mint, which is a division of the U.S. government as opposed to Federal Reserve. Completely different. And everybody wants to know the timing. When's this going to end, Bix? When's it going to end? When's silver manipulation going to end? I think the best date, you want a date? September 11th, 2023. Why do I say that? Well, first of all, with this new debt ceiling, I did a report on there's 3 options. Kick the can, bail out the debt ceiling and print $4 more trillion, or don't do it and crash the system. They chose to print more money. How long will that last before the banks collapse? 3 to 4 months. 3 to 4 months puts us right into the September 11th timeframe. Remember when all the money was pulled out of the money market funds? September 11th, 2008. That was the D-Day. That was the day the good guys attacked the bad guys, trying to take the system down, and the Fed opened up the coffers. Senator Kanjorski told us all about it. That was on September 11th. So why do I think it's mid-September also? This thing, JP Morgan Chase. Do you remember when JP Morgan Chase was charged and settled, admitted guilt to rigging the silver market? It was September 29th, 2020 that was announced. At that point in time, JP Morgan, theoretically and actually from the data from the CME, stopped rigging the silver market and gave all their customers that rigging ability. So all the deliveries and the stuff was not going through JP Morgan anymore. It was going through the JP Morgan customer account. Same rigging job. Yes, they're all colluding with each other. That it is an amazing thing. But here's where I get to the middle of September. Part of, and a huge part of this agreement with the DOJ to stop rigging the silver market was the deferred prosecution agreement. Now, the deferred prosecution agreement you can find right at the bottom of the statement. And let me show you what it looks like. This is the deferred prosecution agreement. This has a lifespan and ends 30 days or 3 years from the signing. 3 years from the signing. This was signed on September 23rd, 2020. Means by September 23rd, 2023, JP Morgan can start rigging the market again and gets out of their prosecution agreement. Now, if you've listened to me long enough, you know they already violated it by doing their chats on WhatsApp and paid a $100 million fine or something like that. So it's already violated. But remember, this is the games that they're playing. The law doesn't really matter anymore in the United States of America, as we can tell from what the U.S. Mint is doing. But this is a key date, I think, for the last battles. If you're going to take down the cabal, the criminal banking system, with the silver dagger, running silver to the moon and letting it trade freely, this is a key date. Because after, on September 21st, JP Morgan is a rigger again. Or it's September 20th. JP Morgan is a rigger again. So we have to do something before September 20th. Again, the liquidity is collapsing. All the banks are going to look really ugly this quarter. And the head of the FDIC even said so. In their first quarter report, they said, it's the second quarter that we're scared of. And that's when all the banks mark to market. You're looking at 600 banks that have the probability of going down with any kind of financial shakeup, which runs into the derivatives and everything else follows that. So that's the date I'm looking at, middle of September. I don't know if September 11th is what day it is as far as the market, but somewhere in the middle of September is the date I see as the final battles on the financial side. It doesn't mean nothing's going to happen between now and then. You know, silver can run over $50 and go to 60 and 70, and they try to control it there before letting it freely trade. So yeah, don't wait. Don't wait to get your shit together. It could happen at any moment, but it could have happened at any moment in the past 100 years also. So just be aware of that. Everything is lining up to the end game. And what will the end game look like? Well, just pick up the Road to Ruta comic book from the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. It's right there, which is in rainbow. There's Ruta right there. What will the end game look like? It'll look like this. It'll look like that. This is from the Fed Boston. When was the last time you saw a little girl go into a bank and swap gold coins for paper money? This is the Federal Reserve Bank's publication, by the way. It's on page 17 of Banking Basics. When was the last time? And they even talk about banks going down. They talk about Bedrock Bank. Bedrock Bank invested in housing and commercial real estate, office buildings, shopping centers. And then they implode and the Fed has to bail out the world. And between that and the crashing of the oil prices, it has the crashing of the oil prices and banks go down. And then there's the GATA picture. My friends at GATA know what I'm talking about there. So yes, this is a Federal Reserve Bank. It was this booklet called Banking Basics was released on the exact same day that the Road to Ruta documents were released. It was January 1st, 2007. And what was big? What did Ruta write in the sand in the comic book? The only thing that had changed is this, 11 plus 9, or 9/11. I know this sounds crazy. Oh, Bix, that's a conspiracy theory. Well, I didn't write the comic book. I didn't do the revise on it. 11 plus 9, 9/11. Why is Ruta writing in the sand? And this is a Fed Boston comic book again. Right here, Federal Reserve Bank of Boston, right there. It came out the same day as the Road to Ruta documents. There's Ruta writing it down in the sand. This came out on January 1st, 2007. On September 11th, 2008 is when the takedown almost was completed. Now, the derivative book is massively bigger than in 2007. The system can't take another jolt, and they don't want it to. Both sides want the system to crash. The bad guys want it to crash to hide all their bad deeds, and they know it's unsustainable. The good guys want it to crash to take out the bad guys. It doesn't matter who wants it to crash. It's going to crash. And it's going to be a click of a mouse that does it. One click of a mouse probably at the Exchange Stabilization Fund, which is the working group on financial markets. If you don't know what those are, dive deep into what our money is and who controls it. But it will all be computer controlled because the computers run every single market on the planet. The Treasury can click a mouse and set the price of silver to minus $40 like they did with oil, or $1 million. So you don't know if it's going to be a blowout high or an implosion of everything. That's why you have to get your assets in your own possession. I hope this makes sense. Again, go to roadtoruta.com. If you're not a private road member, I will be posting part 2 of my discussion with the Mint today. There's, I think, 4 or 5 laws that they break in that part. If you're not a member, go to roadtoruta.com. Click on subscribe today. It's $2.99 for a year, which is less than $1 a day. And we send you a silver Ruta coin, the coolest coin ever made. So go check it out and keep fighting. Fight for freedom. Fight for truth. Fight for the rule of law. Because the guy from the Mint said, hey, nobody's complaining. We need to start complaining. We need to go. Why do we have to complain for you to follow the law and not lie to the people? Ventures Gibson, the head of the Mint, who said they've expanded Silver Eagle production and yet they're only making a third of it? Or from talking to this guy, it sounds like they're making less than a third. Stop lying to we the people, because we won't stand for it much longer. This is Bix Weir. I'll talk to you.